Hi Jeff, how are you doing? You won't believe my distances. They're going really, really far.
1 week after our first session together, Andres has been working hard on his sequencing and is already seeing an increase in his power. 15 to 20 yards per club.
Watched a video of you hitting.
Yeah.
And 15, 20 yards in a week is a big deal. That's great. I'm very happy about that. But we've got to take care of your hips and your posture, because if you're creating that kind of spin in your hips and you're creating that kind of speed to create all that distance that you're creating, and your posture's not right with your low back and your hips, I'm just concerned that you could have some pain, some injury in the low back and your lumbar spine, and then we're back to square one. If we see an arch in the low back in here and we're spinning the hips, that's just a potential injury waiting to happen. So, right, we kind of worked on this idea of spilling, if the pelvis is a bucket of water, spilling the water back behind me,
Okay.
and then spilling the water in front of me. Well, this is a bucket of water, so we want that belt going low. You don't have a belly, but if you did, your belly would kind of be hanging out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you drop your belt forward and stick your belly out a little bit, right? And that's an anterior tilt. We can see a big curve in the low back. Now we want to go the other way. So now we drop the tailbone, good. And now he's got no butt, right? He's got a much flatter back. Now we're going to go Donald Duck, right? Stick that butt out. Right, very good. Then we'll go goofy, good. What he's doing right there, what's happening is he's learning to control his pelvis as far as the tilt of the pelvis, right? Good ball strikers, when they come into the ball, there's a forward pelvic tilt where you're dropping the tailbone. That's something that we want, okay? All good players, not just in golf, but also in sports like baseball, right? Or tennis. We want there to be a pelvic tilt, meaning a dropping of the tailbone as we come into the ball, as we go through impact. And if we're sticking the butt out this way, that means we either have to make a huge move or we don't make the move. Then we're just going to work a little bit on rotation, right? So you're just going to rotate. If we don't want to see the shoulders move, just the hips, good. We don't want to be sticking the butt out, right? So you're teaching yourself to control your pelvis, right?
Right.
And we don't want the belt pointing at the ground. We want the belt pointing straight ahead. There you go.
Okay.
Good.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah. So we want a pretty neutral spine in here. We don't want a big arch in the back. And what we want is this belt loop to come way back here, right? And then this belt loop over here to come back here this way. And hopefully the shoulders stay the same. One is the tilt this way of the pelvis, forward and back. And then the second one is the rotation of the pelvis. Right. The first one thing you have to do is you have to get rid of the S posture here. The second thing we want to do, once we can do that, is we want to start turning. Good. Good. Now we're going to get over into our 5-iron posture like we're playing golf. Tuck the hips a little bit and rotate in your posture. Good. That's going to be another challenge, right? We want to activate our core. I'm going to put my shoulders back. I'm going to tuck my tailbone, and I'm going to hinge at the waist and just softly bend my knees and tuck my hips. And so I'm over in my posture, but I'm not sticking my butt out, right? Just keep this as long as you can. Over time, if he keeps working on this, this is going to get longer and easier. As we move forward with progress, fewer and fewer mechanical shots until you're just playing naked, which is just no thoughts, right?
Yeah.
Our goal is no thoughts. Our goal is to play naked. Our goal is to walk around on the golf course and just hit the ball without any mechanical swing thoughts. But until we get our mechanics right, that's a challenge, right?
My butt.
Yeah. There's some space back here, okay? This is part of what causes S posture. So what I want you to do is tighten up your abs and push back against my hand. Feel that? Good. So what we're working on here is opening up the shoulders so that he has more external rotation. This is external rotation of the shoulder. We're also working on controlling the pelvis, right? If he's got a big gap under here, that's your S posture, right? That's your big arch in your back. So he's working on activating his core, keeping the low back long and pretty straight, and then opening up his shoulders so that he can turn, right? What he does when they step away from the wall is they go, oh. And that's what we're working on with that wall exercise, is getting a little bit stronger in the posterior muscles of the scapula, right? This is your scapula back here. Yeah. Your back and shoulders. We want that strong. Yeah. And we want control of the pelvis. We get those two things going, and your golf posture is going to be great. Talk about golf swings. I'm not a fan of crazy golf swings. I'm a fan of vanilla, right? I think your swing should be vanilla. We're doing this for two reasons. One is because if you're in your S posture, doing the kind of volume we need to do to get you where you want to be, we're just putting your back at risk. That's one reason why we're doing it. We want to protect the lower back. The other reason is the spine rotates better when it's more neutral and elongated than when it has excessive curvature in it. So we're getting function and we're getting injury protection just by working on controlling the pelvis a little bit. Right. On this channel, we're not chasing clicks. We're trying to provide actual stuff that works for a golfer. Obviously, we're working through a pretty good player here, but everything we talk about as we work through this process is something that I think the average golfer can learn from. Give me a practice swing. 1, 2, go. Good. Stop there, okay?
Again, the swing is not even there.
It's not gonna be there for a while.
Yeah, I know.
But you need to embrace your imperfect swing.
Yeah.
Right? So the last thing I want you thinking about right now, here in December of 2024, is your score. Okay. Or what's wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
Or work on your routine, and work on trusting your imperfect swing and believing in your imperfect swing, because it's never going to be perfect. Nobody's ever had a perfect swing, not even Ben Hogan, not even Jack Nicklaus, not even Tiger.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody's got their little things. So instead of focusing on what's wrong, I'd like you to focus more on the target and your routine and getting into what we call trust swings.
Yeah.
Trust swings have no mechanical thoughts, and then you just believe in yourself. This period of time right now, we're going to maybe have some ugly holes, maybe make some big numbers. Doesn't matter. There's plenty of time for that in the future. Plenty of time for getting scoreboard conscious, later. Okay?
Yeah.
Keep practicing, my friends.